Hello everyone, Evasion here, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, I wanted to do a post-nerf update subtlety guide to Secret Technique. I'm still playing this build. It is still really good, but we can definitely feel the nerfs. Unfortunately, now you're going to have to coordinate with your teammate to kill somebody. So in this video, I want to talk about spec variations and a few of the talent points that can be changed around, rotation and setup ideas, as well as a few important things that are relevant to your overall damage output that players might not initially see. I've had some people saying in the previous video, even pre-nerf, that their secret technique wasn't hitting anywhere close to mine in the video. And there are a couple things that might not be that obvious at first glance. So if you find this content useful, please be sure to give the video a like and consider sharing this with a rogue friend. This is the build I'm playing in most of these clips. I still have flagellation. One thing I will say about it is you can definitely use it to get significantly higher hitting secret techniques. However, it's not usually worth the wonky setup. If you want to use flagellation, you really need to utilize doing a quick swap while it's up. So it only lasts for like 12 seconds and then you get a 12-second window after that. So you need to actually start on somebody with a stun, use it, gain some stacks through using finishers, whether it's like kidney shot and a couple of eviscerates. And then you need to quickly swap to the other target. Because you're doing such a fake go, usually people won't trinket your blinds. Anyway, here is how I adapted my spec. So originally I started out with flagellation, but because people weren't really reacting to it, I decided that it wasn't all that useful in most situations, especially not in double DPS 2s. I still think in 3v3, you can get some use out of this. Anyway, so what I've done is I dropped flagellation, and I've decided to go back to using the Rotten. Now, you can actually do a pretty cool little swap here. So this opener is more of actually a swap because it starts with a kidney shot. And this is my favorite rotation so far that we've had to utilize in the expansion. And we've honestly been able to do this the whole time, but we didn't have to maximize the effectiveness of different talents that we have because our class was very OP. This is in its most powerful state when you have access to Shadow Blades because you really need the extra combo points. This is taking advantage of the combo points of First Dance. It's taking advantage of the combo points of using the Rotten. And the opener is very, very cooldown timing specific. Alright, so we're starting off with a full kidney shot at the ready. We're going to use Shadow Blades and pop Dance and go for a Shadow Strike. At this time, we're going to use our symbols, our on-use trinket. I actually mistimed it in this clip, that's okay. Eviscerate. And then I'm going to pop Backstab, which since we have symbols, gives me full combo points again from having the Rotten, in which case now I'm going to use a secret technique. Then I'm going to follow it with a cheap shot, a Shadow Strike, and one more Eviscerate, and that's a complete 100-0. This is hitting a male target with a shield as well. So that is definitely a lot of damage. PvP, you'll be forced to go with many different situations, so this won't always be applicable, and in many cases, you'll just have to go with a cheap shot, dance, Shadow Blades, and all your other offensive cooldowns. Press Shadow Strike to max your combo points. Then use Secret Technique and follow with a half cheap shot, just to keep the target stunned. If you're coordinating with another DPS, this is still plenty of damage to kill people. However, if you're running around in battlegrounds, definitely try to start off goes with Kidney Shot. You can put out way more damage. You can stack Danse Macabre a lot better, and you can accomplish way more. Next, I want to talk about some of the modifiers that you may not be thinking about if you're trying to figure out why your secret techniques aren't hitting as hard. And one of the major things is actually the weapon enchant Sophic Devotion. You know, if you're broke like me and you're using the 30,000 gold version of the enchant, I have two of those. If you get this on both of your weapons, they will actually stack together. And you'll gain like 1800 main stat, which is a lot of extra damage. It's way more than the 1 minute badge trinket. Even scaled up, I don't think it's as much. Yeah, definitely the weapon enchants are a lot. If you are for some reason using your secret techniques under 5 combo points, you aren't getting the additional bonus. Obviously, more combo points is more damage, but if you're over 5 combo points, you get an additional bonus on Deeper Stratagem and on Secret Stratagem. And on top of that, if you don't have Mastery on your gear, that's obviously going to greatly impact your damage as well, and including having Dance actually active because you do get 30% increased damage. One kind of interesting thing as well is Lingering Shadows could actually be relevant for this opener, or rather the swap version when you're going off of Kidney Shot, because you could start with a Dance on the first target, throw your blind maybe at the healer, And if your teammate invested enough cooldowns that you could actually force some trinkets on that blind, then when you switch over to go for the kidney, when you use your second dance charge, you will actually have Lingering Shadows active for that Rotten Backstab. So you'll get a nice little bit of extra damage. Obviously, the longer you take to perform this, the more damage is going to fade away from Lingering Shadow. But definitely something to note. You can get some pretty cool power swaps utilizing this. For honor talents with this build, I'm still just using Dismantle when it's relevant and Shadowy Duel. There is definitely no energy problems when it comes to setting this up off of a kidney shot. Some people use the Tight Spender talent instead of Rush setup. I'll talk about that for a second. If you use a go where it's like it's cheap shot into cheap shot, you actually save more energy than if you're using Tight Spender. However, neither one of these talents really matter that much, to be honest. Of course, I have Smoke Bomb like every game. I love having Smoke Bomb. If you're looking for more rogue information, be sure to check out my previous videos. Well, I think after the patch, Subtlety is in a fairly decent spot. It will mostly only be played in the more traditional roles that you see it in. Probably 2s, double DPS. Occasionally in 3s with high burst-oriented comps. But I think now, since this change, a lot of people will start playing Assassination again. I know some people already were, because Assassination does a very, very high sustain damage. And it has usually more overwhelming damage, just at the cost of less control. And it's usually a lot more simplistic playstyle, and I really enjoy that about it. And yeah, if you liked the video, please be sure to give it a like, comment, subscribe for more, and we'll see you again soon.